So in my travels upon this wretched planet, I often encounter people who seem to be of the opinion that it is okay for them to like things which are bad in quality. This appears to be especially true when it comes to products of creativity, like films and books and shows and RPGs and video games and the like. However, here's the thing. They are absolutely right. Liking something that's bad is completely fine. However, that does not change the fact that you have bad taste. I'm sorry, but it's true. The fact that you like bad things doesn't negate that the things you like are in fact bad. Some people will, once again, especially in the realm of creative work, proclaim that there is no such thing as a dimension of quality to any given product, and whether or not something is good is completely up to the individual's taste. To them, quality is a made-up quality that just doesn't exist. But that is simply not true. Any art form, and I do mean any art form, has a level of craftsmanship associated with whatever product comes out the other end. Therefore, it also has an objective quality level of that craftsmanship. That means some art is objectively better than other art. Take, for instance, this digital art painting I made and compare it to this digital art painting by actual artist Jen Santos. You cannot deny that one is objectively higher quality than the other. Now, you may like mine more, I don't see why you would, but it's certainly possible. That doesn't change the fact that it is objectively not as good as the other one. Even individual artists will produce works that are sometimes better and sometimes worse. This is not necessarily a product of them improving their skills over time and previous works not being as good. Sometimes you just have a major fluke, or you just don't try particularly hard for some reason. For instance, compare these two pictures by artist Randy Vargas. One is just better than the other because the other is just a sketch. It's not a failure of the artist, it is in fact a lower quality state of an image that he is currently creating. This is intentional, but it's still lower quality. This demonstrates that there is such a thing as objective quality in art, and the farther away we move from art and into the realm of practical objects that can be used for things, even if they have artistry associated with them, the easier it appears to be for people to accept that they have objective quality to them. Imagine, for instance, a chair that is very comfortable and a different chair that is very uncomfortable, or for that matter, a chair that you could easily throw out a third-story window, or a chair that will fall apart the moment you give it an intense stare. I mean, you could throw the latter out of the third-story window also, but the point is that it would break. We usually don't have a hard time to say that one of these chairs is better than the other because of the superior craftsmanship put into it. But we might like the chair with the inferior craftsmanship more. Maybe it has sentimental value for us. Maybe it just scratches that weird itch at the back of our mind that always wants to sit in a way that's not quite comfortable. And you know what? It's fine to like things which are bad, whether that be because the craftsmanship is just they didn't put any effort into it, or because it's stylized to a degree where it's no longer good craftsmanship, or maybe because the craftsman was just incompetent. A lot of people unironically love The Room, which objectively is one of the worst films of all time. And they know it. Doesn't stop them from liking it. I mean, Jesus, there's a whole genre of trash films out there. Literally, they've developed their own kind of craftsmanship where they become good at making bad things. Or to stoke the fires of hell, this is Guernica by Pablo Picasso. When it comes to craftsmanship, this is not a very good painting. It's still miles above my stick figure drawing, but let's be honest, it's still pretty shit. It's also one of the most popular and celebrated and lauded paintings of all time. It's not one of my personal favorites, but I still like it. It's a nice painting. even though it is of low quality. I mean, of course, the reason for that quality is that it's stylized. If Picasso had wanted to, he could have drawn this entire scene in a hyper-realistic style, but he chose not to, and some people would argue that that is the sole reason for the painting's popularity. I wouldn't say that that is the full picture, as it were, but it's a good point. If this painting were to be presented to someone who, say, had never heard of Picasso, and who didn't know the kind of art that he did, and who didn't know about the meaning of the painting Guernica, there's a good to fair chance they'd say that it's just a low-quality shit painting by a crazy person. And they'd be right. It doesn't change the fact that it's a great painting, just not in the realms of its quality of craftsmanship. It is also fine to dislike things which are objectively good in quality. For instance, I always get shit when I say this, but I don't like Lord of the Rings. I mean, the films are alright. I like them mostly because of the landscapes. And the reason I don't like Lord of the Rings is because it's basically made up exclusively of tired old fantasy tropes with which the genre has been oversaturated for decades. It's played out, it's dry, it's boring, and I didn't grow up with it, so it doesn't have any sentimental value for me either. I mean, I was forced to watch Fellowship of the Ring when I was like 6, and I was terrified of orcs for like a good month or two. No, the things that have sentimental value for me from my childhood is a tomato with sunglasses that is also a telephone, but that's neither here nor there. However, I can appreciate that Lord of the Rings is the reason why all of these tropes that I am so very tired of exist in the first place. Back when it came out, an innovation snob such as myself would have loved it. It's truly a revolutionary work of speculative fiction and objectively high in quality. Tolkien was a very good writer, and he put those skills to use by investing a lot of work into the world building and the research. So I appreciate that Lord of the Rings is a genre-defining masterpiece. I still don't like it very much, though. Of course, the more artistic you become, the more difficult it is to assign an objective craftsmanship score to any given product. And I don't think that's required either. We don't need a score to objectively compare that to all the others. This is ultimately not supposed to be a popularity contest. It's just a contest of what you like and what you don't like. And I won't look down on you for liking bad things or disliking good things, because I do the exact same thing. I do, however, look down on you if you believe that craftsmanship and quality in art doesn't exist, because you are wrong and also an idiot. Thank you very much for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the things, share this to your relevant communities, but do not spam them. Consider supporting me on Patreon or Subscribestar if you can afford to do so in these trying times. Consider buying some of my merch. Actually, no, it doesn't ship right now, I think. Buying my terrible short story collection, that's a bad thing you can like. And in that spirit, don't expect the world to cater to your taste. Just have better taste than everyone else. And see you around, cunts.